will tell you this now, you can't do nothing in life without credit. You can have as much money in the world as you want, but guess what? If you have horrible credit, you won't get anything. What's up, y'all? It's Jaylis here, and I'm back with another video. If you are new here, we talk about entrepreneurship, personal growth, financial freedom, passions, and more. And if you're not new here, you already know we're about to get into some things, so let's go. So it's been a minute, y'all. I took about a week off from posting. I needed a mental break from a lot of things, and being in front of a camera was one of them. Just with everything else going on in my life, so I took the break that I needed for sure. But that being said, we're back better than ever. And today is more of an educational video. Get a pen, get a paper, whatever you need out, because we're going to talk about credit today. I think it's important to talk about. I think that we're not taught about credit. We're not taught how important credit is. We're not taught about what you need to do as far as your credit goes. And I am no credit expert by any means. I can only talk about what worked for me and the things that I've realized with credit in the credit bureaus and was tracking, everything like that. So we're gonna get into it. So like I said, take out a pen and paper, pause the video whenever you want to write down the information that I have, and we can go from there. So as far as credit goes, I think that the number one issue is that we're not taught about credit in school. Our parents don't necessarily teach us about credit, and we're kind of thrown into this world at 18 thinking like, we want to get a car, we want to get an apartment or a house, we want to buy this, we want to buy that, we want to open credit cards because I want to go be able to pay for stuff and feel like it's free money, but you got to pay those back. Like we get thrown into a credit world. We get thrown into a credit world and don't know how to operate in it, okay? And when I say we don't know how to operate, we don't know the right steps. We don't know by any means, you know, the right steps and ways to build credit, keep credit, stop your credit from falling, all those different kind of things. So few things first that I want you to write down and I want you to do. Number one, download Experian, okay? On your phone, every app store has it. Download Experian. I'm gonna put a picture right here what it looks like. Download Experian, okay? Experian is a credit app, okay? It's Experian, if you don't know, tracks your credit. Now, that being said, Experian shows the three main credit bureaus that track your credit, okay? So you're going to download that first, okay? You're going to make an account. You use your social security number and usually your name, your email, whatever you want to do. You can connect to your phone number, however you want to do it. You put security questions in, whatever the case may be, and it will show you your credit report. Now, it does allow you options to customize a little bit. You can lock your credit report so that way not anybody can see it, and you have to unlock it. There's a lot of customization tools to kind of keep a lot of your information private and stuff like that. I think if you're just starting out, you don't necessarily have to pay for it just yet to lock everything up, because you want to have an open report to really be able to look into it a little bit more. But you can. You're more than welcome to pay for it, lock it up, do whatever you want to do. Now, that being said, now that you have Experian, you are going to kind of first look through that app. Look through that app, see what you have questions about, see what you understand, see how your credit tracks, like what your score is, how scores track. But it will show you the three main credit bureaus on there, okay? Now, once it shows you the three main credit bureaus, you can click through them to see how your number differs between each one. But it will also show you your accounts, your credit accounts, what's under your credit. That can be credit cards, auto loans, afterpays, and car insurance, all of these things that are things that you have to pay for. Now, most people pay for their phone bill. Your phone bill, paying it does help your credit, but it does not help your credit in the way that most people think it does. It is a good starting bill to get used to paying, but it does not track on those reports like you would be able to see it. You wouldn't be able to go on there and see like AT&T, T-Mobile line of credit. Like, it doesn't. They run your credit for you to get a phone, you know, when you go to a phone store, but it doesn't track like that. So the things that you would be looking out for are credit cards, auto loans, insurance, anything like that. Those are the main things that you would see on your report, okay? And then any inquiries, like you would see, like if you're going to get a car, they run your credit. You know, house loans, that's a big one that you would see on your credit too, like if you're getting a house or things like that. Those are the bigger things that you will see on your credit report that you would see on there. Cool. Now that you have Experian and you can look through the app and see everything on there, the next thing that I would suggest doing, which I think is a really good saving tool, and I think that, and none of this video was sponsored, this is just things that I've done that have helped me, or I feel like it's a good thing to learn. Download Self. Self is another app. It's a credit app that will help you build your credit, but it's also a savings account, okay? So what you would pretty much do is set up an account and you would pick how much money you want to save. I think there's like a $200 option, a $300 option, a $500 option. I think there's like 3 or 4 options on there that you can pick from. I haven't done it since I finished mine. I actually probably would love to do it again because you can keep doing it once you finish. But it's pretty much a savings account that you go on and you pay it monthly, okay? You pay your minimum balance monthly. Now at the end of it, you get all your money back. This is like a savings account. But because it tracks as an open line of credit, it will be on your credit report too. You will see that on your Experian account. It will help build your credit because you're paying it down. So it looks like you have, let's just say you pick the $500 option, it looks like you have a $500 credit line open, but because you're paying it down, your credit will start to track that. You will have good payment history. Your score goes up. So that's the first part of this. Certain apps that I think that you should have that will really kind of set you on your way to understand your credit a little bit, okay? And understand the things that will help you and not deter you and not keep you in a bad place. That's the first step. Second thing that we're going to talk about now is what credit cards and stuff you have and how to pay things, okay? Credit cards and how to pay them. When you have, and that goes for not just credit cards, auto loans, mortgage payments, rent, anything that's tracking on your credit, okay? How to pay them, okay? So now that we got through apps and things like that, you might have opened a credit card. I personally think the first card you need to open is a secured card, okay? Don't just go get a big line of credit because you don't have credit history if you've never really dug into your credit. You feel what I'm saying? So naturally it's going to look good from the beginning because of the fact, or it's just going to look like you don't have any credit because there's nothing on your report. Best thing I would say, do Discover card, okay? That's what I started with. I think it was a great start. It was a secured card. You go online and do it. Your card comes in the mail. Your credit, your available credit keeps going up the more that you use it and pay it. Now, that being said, usage, okay? This goes to how to pay things. When you have a credit card, it tells you this on everything. You should only use up to 30% of your credit at a time, okay? 30%. You can have a $500 limit, okay? That doesn't mean you need to go spend $500, okay? You only need to spend 30% of that. And then pay it off. Whether that's monthly, whether you break it down within a few weeks, pay it off. The other thing that you're going to realize when you're paying things is interest rates. And that's something that we'll get into later on in this video. So keep watching for that. And that will really help you understand how you can end up spending more money because you're not paying off the things that you've already bought. But that being said, how to pay them. So naturally, when you have this limit and you spend whatever amount you spend, you need to learn how to pay. There's always going to be a date that you have to pay something by, okay? Your phone bill has a date, your Wi-Fi has a date, everything has a date as to when you're supposed to pay it, right? Your best bet is to pay it twice before the due date, okay? With credit cards specifically, what I learned is 15 days before and 3 days before your actual due date. So if your due date is the 30th And I say on the 27th you should be making a payment, and on the 15th you should be making a payment of the month prior. Okay, so of the same month technically. So if we're in April and April 30th is my due date, on April 15th I should be paying on my credit card, and on April 27th, yeah, I should be paying on my credit card. Why? Because the credit bureaus track it as you just paid it twice in one tracking. Okay, how their calendars work, it looks like you paid it twice in that calendar month, which then again helps boost your credit, helps give you good payment history, helps show that you can pay these things down when you're buying things with credit. So good, that's credit cards. Same thing with a house mortgage or an auto loan. Personally, I would say pay them weekly. Instead of paying once a month in big lump sums, take whatever your monthly amount is, break it into 4 to 5 weeks, and pay on it weekly, because you're making almost double or triple the payments that you would in a year, which helps your principal, which helps your interest rates, which helps all of these things happen and not add more money to the things that you already have. Okay, so how when it comes to how to pay things, you have to be diligent, and remember, set a reminder in your phone, put it in your calendar. I have literally, my calendar has dates on it: pay this card, pay this, pay that, because it just keeps you on track of pay this early, pay this early, pay this early, because the more that you pay things up, the less debt and things you have, the less things that you have to worry about, and you're so used to getting this whole lump sum of money that you have to pay at one time. If you think about it, if you're breaking it down weekly, you're not having to put out $500 at one time. Now you're able to say, okay, I can put 115 now, I can put 115 next week. Now I'm halfway there. Okay, cool. I'll put another 115 the week after that, and now it's $100 a week. But at the end, it's still the amount that needs to be paid, but it's been paid over time, and it's getting tracked as it's getting paid multiple times. You feel what I'm saying? So now the credit bureaus are looking at that in good light. So that's one thing, how to pay things. Okay, learning how to pay things and how they track. Okay, it's always a monthly date based on your date. Okay, it's always going to be that, depending on when you open your credit line, that is your date. So that is the calendar of your line. Okay, but that being said, how they track, you have to be able to catch how they track, and these are things that we're not taught. So naturally, just like you do your phone bill, just like you do any other bill that you have in life, is due on the 1st, is due on the 30th, that's when you pay it. That doesn't help you. Okay, that does not help you. So I'm here to help you. I'm here to give you the little secrets and give you the little tea. I'm not trying to sell no courses on it or nothing like that, because at the end of the day, like I said, I'm not a credit master by any means. My credit went through a big hit at one point, and I'm back to fixing it back up, and I am taking all the tools that I had to learn originally, and my credit has skyrocketed again since it had a really bad drop. So I'm just telling you from personal experience the things that I know work and the things that I know will happen. Okay, moving on, we're going to talk about interest rates. Okay, interest rates are something that anytime you open any line of credit, you need to understand what the percentage is and how much that means. Okay, people, they'll see an interest rate number and not think about it. They sign on that dotted line and don't realize, why does this number keep going up? If I'm paying this down, if I'm paying the minimum payment, why does it seem like it's not getting paid off? What's happening? Does it, you go into this spiral. But it's because you need to know what the interest rate is, how much it means, and when it's tracking. Some interest rates are daily, some interest rates are monthly, some are bi-weekly. You have to read through things, and that comes with reading the fine print. Okay, when you are signing your name on any line, especially when it comes to your credit, you need to read the fine print. You need to know what you're signing for. Okay, you need to know what money you're about to give away, because at the end of the day, if you don't know, it's going to hurt you more than it's going to help you. So that being said, cool. Once you know, when you open a line of credit, you know what the interest rate is, you know how much the interest rate means, you know when it's tracking it. So is it adding it daily, is it adding it monthly, is it adding it bi-weekly? However it's adding it, then you then can form a plan to pay things off, okay? For example, I have an Ulta credit card, okay? I love perfume and stuff, my family does, cool, I love it, great. Ulta's interest pretty much tracks daily. So going on and paying a minimum payment does nothing monthly because interest is still getting added daily. So originally, again, my mistake of not really looking at the fact that it did it daily, I'm paying something off and I'm like, well, why isn't this amount going down? Like, I've paid $100 here, $50 there. Like, I'm paying it monthly. Why is the number not going down? Like, it seems like the number is going up, if anything. And it's because they're tracking it daily. So naturally, I had to start paying more on it off the bat. Minimum payment, let me tell y'all something. Minimum payments are a scam, okay? I always say pay more than your minimum or pay double your minimum. If your minimum payment is $40, then you need to pay $80, or just pay more than $40. You need to pay more than what the minimum is, because the minimum is there to just keep you paying it, which is good for your credit as far as payment history, but it's not good because it's not allowing your interest rates to stop adding, okay? So you need to learn to pay more than your minimum payment. It's a scam. Nobody can convince me otherwise. Minimum payments are a scam, okay? They will tell you, oh, the minimum payment is just this. You can just pay this monthly. Don't even, no. Unless it's just a set number, minimum payments change. If it's a set number, if you get a car and your car payment every month is $330, then that's just a set number. If they say the minimum payment that you can pay is $100 this month, and then you can pay $15 next month, and then you can pay $200 a month after that, that is not a set number. That is a changing number that is not going to help you. Because let's just say you pay things off by doing a minimum payment, but then you get down and you're like, dang, my minimum payment has changed now it's up again because you spent more money, because you felt like you paid things down. Now this number is just going to keep changing and put you in a space where if you're used to a $40 minimum payment and now your minimum payment is $80, now you're like, whoa, what's the jump? Minimum payments. It's a scam to me. If you don't feel that way, great, pay how you want to pay it, but I'm just telling you what I've seen from minimum payments is that it will cause your interest and stuff to keep adding and adding and adding and adding and adding, okay? Another example, I have a Bob's furniture credit card. It allows me to get furniture, things like that. Obviously you still have to pay it. Their whole thing is that if you pay it off within the first 12 months, it's interest free, okay? For the first 12 months of you getting your furniture, it's interest free. After the 12 months, it starts gaining interest, right? You would think, okay, great, no problem. When they give you your minimum payment to start paying your furniture off, if you're a person like me that does the math, you realize that they don't give you a high enough minimum payment that your thing will be paid off in 12 months. You have to do the math. You have to know that that doesn't sound right. That I did the math. I had over $1,000 worth of furniture that I was paying off because I had just got my apartment at the time, and I had went and got my couches, my bed, everything like that. It was great. Everything was good. But when I'm paying this monthly, I'm realizing this isn't, even if I do it this month, like this is not, what I did the math was I ended up having to pay double in order to make sure that it was paid off in 12 months to get it interest free. But the way they do it, which you wouldn't know because you're thinking they're doing it for the 12 months, no, they're pretty much making you pay it off in 24 months of time, 32 months of time, because now you have a whole nother year of interest gained money. Now this amount has interest on it. So all I'm saying is undo the math, know how much interest rates are, know how they're tracking, when they're tracking, and knowing that minimum payments will not help you when it comes to interest rate, okay? It will not do it. It will not help you with principal, any of that. So learning how to pay things, like I said, is whether that's a car note, insurance, everything. I would say pay everything twice before it's due, okay? And that doesn't mean that you have to pay the full amount twice, but paying at least half of it and then the other half on the second time before it's even due. And then even if you want to be better and on the day that it's due, just put some money towards it. You know what I'm saying? That's perfectly fine. Now it's paid 3 times, but at least paying it twice before something's due. Okay, so, and at the end of the day, like I said, credit is not taught to us. We don't know until you get into it, or you have a bad credit file, or you want to go to buy a house and they tell you your credit's not good enough. You want to buy a car, they tell you your credit's not good enough. All these things happen, especially being young, when you don't really have credit. It takes a while. You have to learn. You have to understand. You have to choose to focus on it. The minute I turned 18, I made it a point to learn as much as I could about credit. And we're going to talk about business credit in a whole nother video, but learning about credit, learning how to fix my credit, learning how to build my credit, learning how to start my credit because when I was 18, I didn't have any credit. There was nothing that I had that allowed me to have credit history. I had to build my credit history. I had to build it. And lucky for me, I chose to learn because it allowed me to let my credit flourish from the beginning. But when you don't choose to learn, when you don't choose to get the information, you can't. So like I said, the 3 apps that I want you guys to do, the 2 apps and the one card that I suggest first: Experian for your credit profile, Self for your savings credit building account. And if you're going to start with a credit card, if it's your first credit card, Discover Secured Card. Okay, those are the 3 things that I want y'all to do to start building your credit, and start from there with just understanding and everything like that. And I will do another credit video if you guys would like. Definitely like, comment, subscribe. Tell me in the comments what you guys think, what you guys want to know, anything like that. And I will try my best, if I don't have the answer, to find the answer or figure out the answer and still give you guys the information. As far as I'm concerned, it's not something that I need people to pay for. It's not something that I want people to pay for, because at the end of the day, it sucks that we don't even get this information to begin with. And again, that's a system setting us up to fail. You don't know how important your credit is until you get into situations that mean you need better credit, or you need credit to begin with, and you don't know these things. You don't know. So now you're like, well, I'm at this age where I can get a car, I can get a house. Like, nobody ever told me like this is an important piece, but it is. So understanding your credit, knowing how important credit is. And I will tell you this now, you can't do nothing in life without credit. You can have as much money in the world as you want, but guess what? If you have horrible credit, you won't get anything. You can make as much money as you want in the world. You can buy as many things you want in the world. You can live the most luxurious life in the world. But if you don't have good credit, it means nothing. It literally means nothing. So like I said, please like, comment, subscribe, and there's going to be more videos coming. But definitely let me know in the comments if you guys have any other questions. And I will try my best to answer them, as well as do another part 2 video on credit, and get you guys those answers. But that is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys wrote information down, and I will see you in another video.
For somebody I can call.